hosting all of us.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining in.
I'm super excited.
So are we very, very excited to do something really good for our bodies and yours together. All right, we wait a few more people. Hey, Abhilasha, how are you?
Doing well. How are you doing? Thanks for hosting this for us.
Absolutely anything for you, darling. This one. Are we waiting for more people to join or are we good to go?
I think we should wait for a few more people to join.
Okay, we'll wait for another 4-5 minutes, 3-4 minutes. Meanwhile, today what we're trying to do is do a few kind of not only fusion, but few good recipes which are great for the body, but which are tasty too. It's very difficult to opt for healthy food because, ultimately everybody wants some taste in their food. A lot of taste actually. So whatever sells because it's tasty. So ultimately, we are trying to achieve tasty food within the health, conditions that we want to give ourselves. So that's the idea for today's session. So we're doing gluten-free and vegan meals like you all must have registered for. And we try and make sure how we can, with minimum work and minimum ingredients, make them very, very tasty too. So I think many people have joined, and now how we will conduct the session is that we will keep the chat window open all through the session, but we'll mute all of you for a while. And then once I am done with a course or a part of a course, we can just ask you people to raise your hand. Whoever wants to talk, we can unmute you and we can talk one by one. Because, at times what happens is many people start to talk at the same time because nobody knows who's about to talk. So that becomes a little confusing, but the chat window is open throughout. You can just message us there. I got somebody sitting right here. I got Sandy sitting right here to read the chat out to me, and he'll ask the questions and he'll also unmute you all. So that's how we will conduct this session. Please ask questions by all means. Please ask alternatives by all means. Please ask, things that you. And please tell things that you've been doing with your food, because ultimately that will get us to a place. Because what we are giving today are not just recipes. Recipes, you can get all over the internet. Today, what we're trying to create here is a guideline wherein you can create your own recipe within with the things that you people like as a family or as a culture. So you must put in yourself in the recipe and then create your own version of the recipe. So I'll get you all muted. So we've muted everyone. So everyone's on mute now. Whenever you want to talk, just put that raise hand button there. And if you're cooking along, it will be great if you can turn your cameras on. And if at any point in time you want me to see anything, like if you want me to see if your quinoa is cooked, you can show me. So I can just put you on spotlight. I can see your pot and I can tell you, yeah, it's done. No, it's not done. So that way you are more confident of your end result. So all of that is going to happen. We're just beginning the session now. The recipes here are very close to my heart because they're very, very Indian from an angle, but they've got the version that everyone loves. So let's begin. We can also make Abhilasha the co-host, so she can unmute herself. Abhilasha, we're just making you the co-host. She's so busy cooking. She wouldn't even know if we've made her the co-host. But we're making you the co-host, so you can unmute others also, and you can unmute yourself whenever you think you must talk. Okay, so you are the co-host now.
Okay, yeah, I can unmute myself. Yeah. So I haven't done the preparation as usual. This is me last minute doing all the chopping and all. So I'll be on mute for some time.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. You don't have to chop a lot. Make a smaller portion so that, at least you have something by the end of it, because I guess your family is expecting a lot out of you today.
Yeah, that's true.
Let's begin. I think we'll begin. We'll just go in order. We'll start with the... Maybe no. Let's just reverse the order. We'll start with the cake first because the cake will take a while to bake. So when we start with the cake, it will bake on the side, and while the cake is baking, we can continue and do other things. Before we begin, I would like to introduce to you Dr. Swati. Swati can come here. So that's Dr. Swati. She's a nutritionist. She's a certified diet professional. She's also a physiotherapist doctor. And her core interest and her core profession is nutrition. So she's been working around nutrition, helping many people make their bodies fitter, better, more efficient. So she's also here, and she will also be able to further guide us into alternate and the things that we must or must not eat if we've got certain conditions. So like if I'm putting an ingredient into a recipe, but you've got a particular condition, thyroid or diabetes or anything, what can you use as an alternate? What's best for you? That's where her expertise comes in. She'll keep guiding us during the session. And let's just make I will make it tasty. She'll make sure that the health is not compromised. So that's what we're going to go do together. So,
Good morning, everyone. Sorry, this is good morning for us. So good evening, all of you. And I hope today's session will be a great session for all of us. So let's begin.
Yeah, let's begin. So as I said, we'll be doing the cake first. You can grab a chair if you want to sit.
No,
it's cool.
She'll
help. So I got somebody to help also. Thank you. We love doctors, don't we? So we'll start with the cake. As I said, for the cake, I am using oats flour and rice flour. Two gluten-free flours. You can use any gluten-free flour that is at hand. If you're making your first cake and a gluten-free first cake, if you get your hands onto an all-purpose gluten-free flour or a baking gluten-free flour, that will give you amazing results. If not, just follow the recipe. You'll end up with a very good cake. So I'll just pick my cake ingredients from there and I'll talk about them. So we're using oats today. You want to tell something about oats?
Okay.
And should everyone eat oats?
Yes. So everyone knows that oats is a gluten-free, but it's a very good source of carbohydrate and it has a very good quality protein. But the core ingredient or the nutrient in the oat is a beta glucane, which is a dietary fiber. So oats is a very, very good source of dietary fiber. So it eases your bowel movement. It helps your digestive system. It helps you to weight loss. It also regulates your diabetes, your cholesterol level, or the blood pressure level in your body. But if you have any kind of allergies or celiac disease, which are the allergies from the gluten, you should not have oats.
I am using gluten-free variety of oats today. Yeah. I'm using a gluten-free.
But sometimes people having allergies of wheat or something like that, so they might have some problems from the oats. So instead of oats flour, you can have any other gluten-free flour. Like if the winters are there, you can have bajra. It is a very good source of iron, fiber, and
bajra is basically pearl millet. You can also have barnyard millet here. Any millet flour is great. Millets are amazing, and having millets in your diet is like a super thing to do to your diet.
It's a super food actually, so you can use it, or if you don't have any problem, so you can use oats.
Oh, yeah. So I am using a gluten-free variety of oats. You can skip it for any other gluten-free flour that you have at home, because I understand that you all are eating gluten-free for a while. So sabke ghar mein there must be something gluten-free. Just pick that up. I've taken around 1/4. So these cup measurements are quite critical when you bake. So you have these cup measurements, they're very easily available on Amazon. I guess everybody has them. You may not have used them ever, but I think, for school projects or something, people have always bought these equipments. So, from this, so there are different cups. The 1/4 cup, the smallest cup is the size
And
that I'm picking up.
And measurement cups also control your portion size also. And it gives you the best baking, because baking or any other, cooking, always going good with the, measurement. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're doing, we've taken 1/4 cup of oats, and we're taking 1/4 cup of almond flour. Almond flour again must be there in every pantry, every kitchen. So we've taken almond flour and oats flour as the base ingredients, and now we're moving on, and we're adding more flavor and crunch and nutrition to our cake. And I'm adding, this is pistachio, you can call it pistachio flour, or you can also call it pistachio powder also. So these are roasted pistachios which we've powdered and we've sieved. So this is essentially a pistachio powder, but roasted pistachios for two reasons. One, because once the pistachios are roasted, the body is able to assimilate the nutrients better. And number two, they become very tasty. So these are salted also. Here in India, you get salted pistachios. You open them up, take those kernels out, and then you grind them in a mixer. If you don't want to do that much, just increase the amount of almond flour. Itna nahi karna hai, to sirf you just need to put in more almond flour. So I'm adding around 2 tablespoons of this. Again, you also have these spoon measurements along with the cup measurements. The set you buy has these spoon measurements also. So ये spoon measurements है मेरे पास और इन spoon measurements में से the biggest one I'm picking up, that's called a tablespoon measure. And with the tablespoon measure, I'll be measuring the amount of pistachio flour and I'm taking 2 tablespoons. And you always level your ingredients when you're baking. You never take a heaped spoon. Whenever whatever recipe says the amount, it always has to be leveled. So to level, you can use the back of a spoon or you can use your finger. But the back of a spoon and you level it, right? So I'm using 2 leveled tablespoons of pistachio flour or crumble or powder. No, not a crumble, but a powder. Right? So that pistachio gone there. I will also add in some rice flour here. Rice flour just ensures that because oats are very fibrous, they tend to crumble. So what rice flour will do, give a better binding because of the starch in the rice flour. I'll just pick up some rice flour from there.
And if you are on a weight loss process, then even you can have pistachio and almonds in a moderate condition. So the almonds and pistachio nuts will give you very good, they are a very good source of antioxidants or vitamins. Almond is a very good source of vitamin E. It is also good for your skin, for your joint pain, for your back pain, for your muscle pains, or if you are having any hormonal imbalances, you can have it.
Correct. So we've got two tablespoons of rice flour here. So these are our dry ingredients. Whenever you bake, you have to have your dry and wet ingredients in different bowls and then just mix them up together when you're ready to bake. I'm using my air fryer today. You can use an oven if you have one. In my air fryer, I'm just putting I've just set up the temperature to 180 and it's preheating at 180. 170 is also a good temperature if you want to play safe. You can preheat your oven at 170. Every oven is different. So you may want to preheat for 8 to 10 minutes. That will get you to the point. Every oven's cutoff is different. So if you understand your oven, stop when you think you should. Otherwise, what you can do is just preheat for 10 minutes straight and not bother. Okay, oven preheat has been put to preheat. Now we're putting the wet ingredients together. So for flavoring, we've used natural flavor here. So I've got natural orange juice here. So I'm pouring in 2 tablespoons of orange juice. This is from a fresh orange. You can use canned if you want to. Then, the next thing, because we also making an egg-free cake. So as a replacement for egg, I'm using mashed banana here today. You can also use a flax egg. If you're interested, I can tell you what flax egg is, but if you're not, it's cool. It's a little difficult to get to flax egg, but curing your banana is super easy. Pick up a ripe banana and just, crush it with the back of a fork. And you get this, banana pulp. So the banana pulp goes in. Now, as a fat, now if it's a cake, it has to have some fat. You can use any virgin oil. You can use any virgin oil. I would suggest use a local virgin oil, whatever is very popular in your part of the world. Use that. Here we mostly use peanut oil. So I'm adding peanut oil here. But you can use any virgin oil. Virgin oil may have a flavor, but if you don't want the cake to end up with that virgin oil's flavor, use a virgin coconut oil because that is very low on a loud flavor. The flavor of a virgin coconut oil is very less pronounced, so to say. And now you get sweetness from the orange juice. If you're using a canned orange juice, you get sweetness from the banana. Now you just need a little bit of sweetener. Maybe, for the kids to relish. Or if you like it really less sweet, you don't need to add any sweetener here. But because my kids will be eating it, I will be putting in some sweetener here. So I've got powdered. So we've got a thing called mishri here in India, but instead you can use brown sugar, powdered brown sugar. 1 tablespoon should be good. I'm using 1.5 tablespoon of powdered mishri here. So mishri is like, the natural rock sugar. It's like a natural sugar, which is, which is a lot of benefits along with the calories. No sugar does not have calories. Like if you're using stevia, that's a different story. But if you're using any sugar, it will have calories. But what white sugar does is it has negative calories. It's got a lot of harm.
It's an unrefined sugar.
So this one is right from the nature. It's got many benefits, not just sweet with benefits. So that's how we like it. That's what I've added here. So my oven is preheating. I'll very quickly mix these. Sunny, we need to talk to you now. I'll very quickly show you how these 2 mixes look like now.
We have one hand raised.
Yeah, sure. Who's that?
Hey, Annie. So, Satvik, I always have the most questions. So, first of all, I don't have oats.
Right. You
I mean,
got
I have, not oat flour, but I have regular oats. Can I put that, or do we need a?
your regular oats may not be gluten free, so you need to check if you want a gluten free cake. If you're okay, not if you're okay to eat cake with gluten, you may use them. You have an all-purpose flour which is gluten free. You can use that.
Yeah, I already put it, right? And then I put two. Okay, sorry. Good.
No. Yeah, so you can use that all-purpose flour, the baking flour that you have, gluten free, straight up instead of oats and instead of rice flour. You can
Okay.
use just that.
And I also put 2 bananas. Is that enough?
So 2 bananas are a lot. You just need half a banana. 2 bananas are a lot. If your cake has a lot of fruit, the cake will not rise because the fruit is heavy. It's gonna sink the cake. Just put in half a banana. So that's like 2 tablespoons of banana puree.
Okay. So it's already done. Maybe I'll put just more flour. Yeah, that is okay.
You've already mixed it with you've not kept your wet ingredients separately, have you?
Which ingredients?
Wet ingredients are separate, right?
What are wet ingredients?
So we've got 2 bowls here. So one has wet ingredients, one has dry ingredients.
Yeah, I think I just have 1 bowl. So it's okay now.
Very good now. So now you need to just double up on your flour. Just double up everything.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah, so it's a big cake. You can eat all over the weekend.
Yeah, I can finish it in a day.
No, I know you. You can't. See, so that's the mix. You see little bananas here and there. That's absolutely cool. But if you want, you can just mash it further if you want a finer cake. So that's it. For flavoring, you may add some orange zest. Orange zest is basically just grating your orange from the backside. Orange zest just enhances the flavor, and that's a natural flavor to your cake. Normally, people add extracts and a scent, but we will add only orange. So because it's an orange cake, you take the back of the orange and using a fine grater or a zester, just zest your orange straight into your wet ingredients. So the orange zest, let me show you this. That's the peel of the orange, but that's very, very flavorful. And fragrant. This is the ultimate fragrance that you can add to any dish when you want an orange flavor. That's it, very little zest. And while you're zesting your orange, what you have to make sure is that you only zest the orange and you don't zest the white part. If you zest the white part, it will be bitter. So wet and dry ingredients are ready. Let's just line a cake tin. You can use any cake tin. You can use any cake tin. You can use a sheet pan. You can use a round cake tin. But because this is a small cake, our measurements are small. Abhilasha will have to take a 7 or 8 inch cake pan. We'll be using a 4 or 5 inch cake pan, right? The 5 inch cake pan. You can use a sheet pan. You can also use, a cupcake mold.
Okay.
Have handy, you can use, right? You can use a small cupcake mold. So you'll have mini cakes then. Right? They're easy, they're this one's a small cupcake pan, so they're easy, they're bite-sized, they're portion controlled, and they are easy to store also. You can use this if you have. You can just put in your liners in here and put the batter into it. So whatever you feel comfortable with, you can use. I'll just be lining my cake tin with some butter paper, including some parchment sheet. Grease it, and this is ready to go into the fryer. So that's recipe number 1 done.
Hey, Annie, sorry again. So I missed that. Did you mention baking soda, baking powder, all that?
Baking powder, when we mix everything, when we are ready to pour it into the cake tin, because otherwise baking soda and baking powder go flat very quickly. So we do it after we've mixed it.
And you put some oil and orange juice. Any other liquid you put it, because mine look like pretty thick, like a dough.
It looks like a dough, so you can add in water to make it like a batter, but this one's thick. You'll have to put in, add water gradually. It has to be a very thick dough.
Okay.
I'm just lining my cake tin and we're ready to put this into the air fryer. And I'll just brush it with some oil. This is an oil-based cake. Oil-based cakes are very soft. They remain soft for a long while. Even if you refrigerate them, this cake stays good for 10 days. Easily in the refrigerator, you can freeze it. It freezes very well. You can thaw it at room temperature. Do we have anyone on the chat? Any questions? Anything like that? Right. So I have. You just have to brush oil all on side on the bottom. Put the parchment or the butter paper sheet and then brush again. That's it. Just need a few drops of oil, but that's important. Now here, mix everything. That's the dry ingredients have to always go into the wet ingredients. And if you can find a sieve or a strainer, use that. So what happens? It allows for even mixing, and it also allows for bigger particles to stay out. Yes, any question, Abhilasha, you were asking something?
Yeah. What was the proportion in this baking soda and baking powder?
So the baking soda, we'll be adding 1/8 teaspoon and baking powder 1/4 teaspoon. For you, it will double up. So half teaspoon of baking powder and 1/4 teaspoon of baking soda.
Okay.
You've doubled up everything, right?
Yeah.
Our chilies, garlic, onion is Satvik.
No. Red chili is not Satvik, green chili is Satvik, onion is not Satvik, garlic is not Satvik. In all our recipes, we've said garlic, onion is optional for people who are just doing vegan and gluten free and not Satvik. But we will not be using any of them here today.
As per Sadhguru, no.
No, absolutely not. Yeah, as per both Satvik also, no. We'll not be adding any garlic, any onion to any of our recipes today because we don't use that in-house. But you can if you wish to. So, what Satvik basically is the temperament the food has on your mind and eventually then on your body. They say you are what you eat. So, it's basically when they say you are what you eat, it means your mind is what you eat. So, from that perspective, eating even onion and garlic in Ayurveda can be used as a medicine, but should not be consumed on a daily basis as food. So, from that perspective, we follow the Satvik principles and we don't use onion and garlic in any of our recipes. So that's the batter consistency. Abhilasha, you may want to check yours as well. This is my batter consistency. It's a thick batter. It's like a brownie batter. Right? I don't know if you've made brownie ever, but this is like a brownie batter, very thick.
I think my batter is similar. I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Right. So now at this stage, when you're ready to put it into the oven or the air fryer, you add in your baking soda and baking powder. Because both here, always the soda goes less, the powder goes more. Soda got a very bad aftertaste. The powder doesn't have an aftertaste, but soda fluffs up the batter better. The powder doesn't fluff it up as much. Got our measuring spoons back. This is the 1/4 teaspoon measure. The smallest one, and I'll be using baking powder. You can very easily differentiate also. Baking powder is basically, again, these two ingredients are not Satvik, so to say. And at Go Satvik, we don't really make Western desserts to sell. We only make Indian desserts wherein we don't use baking soda and baking powder. There are natural leaveners which are very easily available here, but I'm sure they wouldn't be available in your part of the world. So we've just, restricted ourselves to baking soda and baking powder. Now see, if your batter is becoming thick, because mine has oats, it'll thicken. You can loosen it up by adding a teaspoon of water later on. I'm just mixing everything up here, and I'll be adding some water. So the cake batter is done, the cake is going in, we'll move on to the next recipe. And we'll be doing the, that's, half of a tablespoon. Makhani sauce first. This is done. Goes into so that's the batter consistency, right? It shouldn't be like a dough, but it shouldn't be flowy like another cake batter because it's a gluten-free cake. It'll be difficult for it to bind. What you can also add to it to make sure that it binds well is gum. So something like xanthan gum. But even better is that gone, like the gum, edible gum that you get here that we put in our laddus. That's even better because that's very, very healthy. But I'm giving everything a skip and not adding any of that. So that's the cake going in. It will be a thin cake. I'll show you the height of it. But you can use a smaller mold to get a cake with more height. But if you keep your gluten-free cakes a little thin, they don't break, they don't crumble as much. So it's, gluten-free cakes are better thin. So I'll show you how the cake will come out. That's how it will look like once it's out. If you're not using salted pistachio powder, you can add in a pinch of salt also towards the end. You can also add a pinch of salt because salt just cuts on the sweetness and just balances the tanginess that comes from the oranges. Right? So that's how you spread your batter. A few times, cushion everything, and it is ready to go into the oven. You can, the process of making any cake is same. The ingredients may change. So wet ingredients, dry ingredients separate. Mix everything and then push it in the oven. Just trying to even out the surface, and this goes to the oven or the air fryer today. Moving on.
The temperature is for 356 Fahrenheit.
Yes. Around 350 Fahrenheit is good. 356 is too precise. You don't need to go that far. 350 is cool.
These recipes with the measurements will be shared later.
Yeah, we've already shared that today. More, a few minutes back. We've shared the final recipe with every detail. If it's not clear, please ask questions. We'll be happy to answer questions on WhatsApp also. So that's the cake. That's the end result. It's a very soft cake. The gluten-free cakes are, they crumble. This one's still stable. We've not added any stabilizer. No gum has been added. This is how it looks like. Right? It's nice and spongy. Super yum, My 11-year-old finished up the cake I made last night. That didn't even fluff out. That one's for me. Now, we're doing the makhani sauce. So let's do the front view and let's see if Swati has to say something about the makhani sauce that we're making today. Normally, makhani sauce are made with a lot of butter. They're made with a lot of... Can just turn that on. Not connected yet. Go. That's more. Right. So the makhani sauce is basically most of the time made with makhani, that's the makhan. So we're giving makhan a skip today because it's a vegan session. We're not using any butter, but we'll still make it very creamy without the cream and the butter. So what's the magic ingredient for that? That's these beautiful cashew nuts. Cashew nuts healthy hote hain kya, Swati?
Yes.
Are they healthy? How are they healthy?
Cashew nuts are very healthy, but you should have it in a moderate amount because in nuts family, the cashews are the less, they are the more on carbs. So you have it in a moderate amount, but it gives you a very good taste. Or if you are on a weight loss process, you can also have it. So the cashew milk, like the almond milk, is equally, tasty and healthy. You can have it and give your recipe a very good taste without any kind of, butter or ghee. So, and if you are on a, you have blood pressure or high BP, or if you have a diabetes, please don't take it, or take it in a very, very moderate amount. Otherwise, you can have it. So we're putting very moderate amount of cashew nuts here. Cashew nuts, I believe, they're one of the, they're one of those superfoods, whose values have not really been recognized as much. To my belief, I believe that they have a certain amount of goodness that they add to you without bringing in any negative taste. They're super tasty too. So if you can give me the top view, I'll just show them the cashews and tomato ratio. It's very, very simple, super simple. The easiest makhani gravy you will ever make, and don't tell anyone this recipe. Nobody will know that it's this simple. So you got tomatoes here, red ripe tomatoes. Pick up tomatoes which are really, really red because that's the color that we want. So I've just added a little bit of oil here, around a teaspoon. I'm pushing in roughly chopped tomatoes and per tomato 2 cashew nuts.
So I've got like 4 tomatoes here, this size, medium size cashews, right? So I'll put in 8 cashews. So that's a very simple ratio to follow. 8 cashews. So now we want the tomatoes to cook, become mushy, and we'll make a sauce out of it. For them to cook better, we'll add in some salt here. So we use pink, we call it Sendha Namak here. That's the pink Himalayan salt. You can use that, or you can use any rock salt. Try and avoid using processed salt, right? So we're adding some salt as much as the tomatoes will need to cook. That's it. Now we cover it and we let it cook on the side. If you think your tomatoes are going to see the peel has started, coming off the tomato already, you want them nice and mushy. Because while they become nice and mushy, the cashew nuts will also cook. We'll be adding some water here. I mean, for nuts, it's always said you should either roast or soak your nuts before having. You shouldn't be having the nuts on their own, maybe because they have, what do they have? They have their own heat and the oil. So if you like soak them, they will be easily digestible, and there's this chemical coating on top of all the nuts that gets removed. That's a natural chemical. I'm just missing the name. But if you soak them or if you roast them, that goes away and the nut gives, and you're able to assimilate the benefits out of nuts. Otherwise, even if you eat the nut, you can't. You've got those nutrient inhibiting coatings. So for your nuts, always either soak them or roast them. So when you're using them for a curry or a gravy, soak them. When you're using, eating them raw, just roast them. So this is it. Salt, tomatoes, and cashew nuts. Here, I've got some ginger. You can add the ginger later in the tadka also, but I'll just put in my ginger here. So I've got some ginger here. You can also add in some green chilies here. So that's again a natural way of flavoring. So I'll just put in some green chilies there on the side. These are the very spicy variety of green chilies. I'm just putting in 2 strands here. Right? So all of this is going to cook for another 5-7 minutes. So the cake is going to take around 15 minutes. We'll keep a watch and I'll keep showing you how it goes. So this goes to the side. Now let's prep up the next dish. Once it cooks, we will grind it and we'll give it another toss for the sauce to be ready. This needs to go into another flow. And let's get going with our pulao. Because pulao will also need a bit of cooking. Are we all ready for the next item? The makhani sauce needs nothing. It just needs the tomatoes to cook with the cashew nuts and for the flavor, the ginger and the green chili. You can add in garlic. You can add in onions if you like, if you want. They also add a depth of flavor. But, in Satvik cooking, we don't have any of them. This is it. Now we've just got another pan on. Try and use cast iron and steel cookware. Give non-stick a skip if you can. And here we'll be doing our quinoa pulao. We've got soaked quinoa here. We used to cook. Right. Abhilasha, are you still cooking? Do we have any questions?
Of course, you should see. Look, this is almost ready.
Oh, wow, yeah, you're faster than I am.
And another pan is also ready.
People taking the class.
Yeah, people underestimate me, so I'm pretty good.
We're all very fond of you. So yeah, with some oil. Use different oil for different preparations. They've just given me 1 bottle. I'm using that. So that's a little bit of oil in there. So now you can add 1 whole spice, whatever is easily available at your home. Like if it's a cardamom, you can use this. To me, in pulao, this black cardamom tastes amazing. This is pretty much like a 1-pot rice with vegetables without the rice. So, we're using quinoa here. So I'm using this black cardamom here. And I'll be using in some cumin seeds for the tadka. You can use mustard seeds if you like. You can put in some curry leaves if you like. You can put in some cloves here, the long if you like. You can put in a stick of cinnamon if you like. But I've just kept it high on 1 spice. So I put in the cardamom. You can remove and put in the cinnamon. Another day you can just put in the cloves. So it's different days, different flavors. So I've started with some cumin seeds and what? chopped vegetables here. So whatever vegetables that are available at home that you can chop up quickly, you can add them. I'm just putting in some chili, followed by all the vegetables in one go. So I've got some peas, cabbage, cauliflower, carrot. Some colorful bell peppers. Just put in what you have handy. And we'll just let the vegetables cook with oil, so that way vegetables caramelize a little and they give a deeper flavor. You can add more vegetables, less quinoa. You can add less vegetables, more quinoa, whatever you want. Here you can replace and use any other millet as well. We've made this recipe a million times with the Granyard millet, and that tastes super good. So that's a very good millet to use, and Swati should be able to tell you what else can be used here. Instead of quinoa, what else can be used?
You can use Granyard millet. You can use like the bajra millet also.
You can use the bajra millet also.
Yeah, you can use like if you do have like bajra millet, so you can use those also with the soap. So and the if we talk about the quinoa comes from the amaranth family.
So this is soaked quinoa. I'll let Swati continue. But this is soaked quinoa. I soak it for an hour. You can soak it minimum for like 20-30 minutes. Right? If you don't have a lot of time to cook it for 20-30 minutes, that just helps it cook better and become,
and it will be easily digestible also.
Soaking it's important that it becomes easily digestible also. That is my soaked quinoa. Any variety is good. Every packet has instructions on how much time you should soak it for, because every quinoa is processed differently, so you can follow the packet instructions.
The quinoa comes from the amaranth family. It's a herbaceous seed. So basically, it's a seed, edible seed, and it's very low in sodium, high in calcium, potassium, and iron. Very good source of protein. So we can say that it's a plant-based protein. It helps you to lower your diabetes, cholesterol. It also has anti-cancer properties. But if you have any kind of allergies or stomach issues, please have it in a moderate amount. If you are having 1 to 2 cup of quinoa in a day, that is good for you. So if you are on a weight loss process, or if you want to take a high fiber diet, you can have quinoa.
I think it's very filling also. So once you've had a bowl of quinoa pulao, you don't feel hungry very quickly. So from my perspective and from the other perspective, the flavor is not very strong. You can induce whatever flavors you want. So khane ki perspective, so the best thing about quinoa is it accepts flavors very well. It is perfect for an Indian pulao, perfect for an Indian khichdi also. So from and it keeps you full for very long. So that helps you eat only in moderation. So we've not added any salt as yet, because we want the vegetables to caramelize. As soon as you add salt, they'll leave water. If they leave water, they will cook, boil, but not caramelize. You will miss the flavor,
the crunchiness of the vegetables, and you're not adding any water. I think.
Basically crunchiness. More than that, I will add water. They'll become soft, but they will not caramelize. If they don't caramelize, the flavor that's locked inside will not come out. Once they caramelize, we'll add in some salt. Now, because the flavors have improved, whenever you cook something, you see, even if you steam, the color for the vegetables is such a beautiful thing to have. The colors will always brighten. If the color is dull down, that means you've overcooked your vegetables. See, they become brighter than where we started. That's a very good sign. Now we'll add in some salt. The Malmi salt again. Give it a good toss. You can put in your quinoa now. It's cooked for 2 minutes. Put in your soaked, drained quinoa, no water right now. Give it a toss and slightly saute your quinoa also. That's way 1. Way 2 is put in your water first, let it come to a boil, and then add your quinoa. So this results in a more less sticky and a more open quinoa pulao, and that results in a softer quinoa pulao. So whatever you like, you can stick the way up. Just giving everything a mix, adding in more salt. Salt is always as per taste. Just put in the amount of salt you think you eat, and that's good for your family. Salt taste. The cake here is done. Let me show you how it looks like. Come out. Nice and soft. Got beautiful crack on top. See, we'll demold it only after 10 minutes. Once it's completely cool from inside. I'll just leave it here.
Hey, Annie, this is ready.
Yours is also ready? Oh wow, it's beautiful cupcakes. You're a champ.
Thank you.
That's
Lovely.
really good to know, not to put salt till later.
So that's that's for getting most in terms of flavors out of the veggies. Because normally people add meat, people eat meat basically for more of that flavor. You can get umami even from the vegetables if you cook them right. So we've just given everything a toss and that's it. Now we add the amount of water that we need to add in and that's 1 cup. So I'm using half the quantity in the recipe. So that I've used half cup of quinoa. I'm adding in 1 cup of water. For 1 cup of quinoa, you must add 2 cups of water. So just double the quantity of quinoa is the water quantity. So that's the ratio 1:2. So now all the work is done. You can put in the spices you wish to. I'll just put in some pepper, some garam masala because that's what we live on here. And you can also add in some red chili powder here. But that just, makes the color better. Some turmeric because it's very, very healthy and it also enhances the color. So, some good old Indian turmeric powder. That's it. You can also, as I said, add in red chili. We're just trying to avoid red chili for most of the recipes. We have to use it for the makhani sauce because red chili powder is not sattvic in nature. Green chilies, on the other hand, are. So just covering it up now. And we just let it cook on the side. Now we just need to do a stir fry. So we've got these vegetables for the stir fry here. We've just blanched them. Like I said, we've steamed them. Rather than blanching, steaming is a better process. So that's broccoli steamed. Broccoli, once you steam it, it becomes greener. So with all other veggies. So, I've steamed broccoli, cauliflower, carrots, and beans together. They're harder. And then we steam these 3 together. The baby corn, the bell peppers. Bell peppers need very little time to steam. We steam these for around 3 to 4 minutes and these for about 2 minutes. So these have been steamed. These together. Mushroom you may not steam, just toss straight away because mushroom doesn't need a lot of cooking. It's very high on water content. Mushroom again is not a sattvic vegetable. You may give it a skip if you want to make sattvic. So that's the quinoa pulao. You must cook it on slow to medium heat. And in an open pot, you can use an instant pot for it. Do not pressure cook. That's the heat of the masalas. Makhani sauce. Was honey hot inside. If your makhani sauce, if the tomatoes are not cooked yet, but the sauce has become really thick and it's caramelizing, you can add in some water at various intervals. Whenever you think you must, you can add in some water. Okay, we also left with the kebab. Yeah, we've saved the best for the last. Stir fry is going to come together like in a minute. I'm so sorry. And with some oil. Not a lot of oil. These vegetables, all of what we've used today is good for everybody that's possible.
Yes. The broccoli, it's a very good source of antioxidants and vitamin C. Simultaneously, the bell peppers is a very good source of vitamin C. They have more than vitamin C of an orange. And
especially the red bell peppers. Red bell peppers are an amazing source of vitamin C. Yeah.
And the cauliflower we have, it's a very good source of. If you have thyroid, please skip the broccoli and the cauliflower. Because they all are, comes from the cruciferous family, so they are not good for the thyroid people. So if you have any kind of, thyroid issues, please don't add broccoli and cauliflower in your diet. The carrots are a very good source of beta carotene, which is a very good source of, which is very good for our eyes and our skin. And we have baby corn and French beans. They all are very good, healthy vegetables. So just
Less number of vegetables, all of the vegetables are always less in calories, more in nutrition. They're an amazing addition. But then to fill you up, you also need some carbs. So where there, all the other things come in, the quinoa comes in. So the cake has just come out. It still has the parchment paper on it. So, we'll just, while it's still warm, we just want to remove it. Otherwise, it will stick on, right? Just very carefully.
the cake is looking so yummy.
Yeah, Swati is going to be tasting today.
Yes.
So that's for the stir fry. Nothing, just some oil. And your, steamed vegetables. However, the vegetables should lose a bit of their rawness, but they must not become soggy as, when you call it a stir fry. Right, so I'll start with the thicker or the stronger or the more time-taking veggies first, and then we'll add in the last one for the last 1 minute. Actually, the whole stir fry is not going to take more than
We can change the vegetables also, accordingly.
Yeah, absolutely. Whatever is available. Yeah, and if you get, some people, I did see those Brussels sprouts there in somebody's list of ingredients. If you are using Brussels sprouts, don't steam your Brussels sprouts. They become really annoying in taste once you steam them. Just sear them, just cut them into half, and on the cut side, just put them on the pan and pan roast them. Brussels sprouts taste amazing once you pan roast them, and then give it a toss along with the other veggies. Don't steam your Brussels sprouts. Vilasha, I hope you haven't steamed your Brussels sprouts. Are you using Brussels sprouts in this recipe?
Yeah, I mean, I just did some mess, so it's okay. I put actually by mistake all the vegetables in the quinoa pulao, so I need to chop again.
No, don't chop. No, we just skip this. Skip the pulao. Is so rich in vegetables. How many vegetables are you people gonna eat there?
But what about this
makhani sauce?
Cashew sauce.
The makhani sauce, you can, you just use it as a curry with the pulao, like a sauce with the pulao. You don't really need veggies in it with it because the pulao is already too rich in vegetables.
Okay, then I'll skip this new dish. Yeah.
Skip this. So this is the beauty of the food. You can, mix it with each and everything. You can have your makhani sauce with your quinoa pulao, or you can, change your vegetables according to your taste. So,
right, so this is I can smell the caramelization here. That's when I put in the other veggies. I would advise not to add in any water here because the steam already has water in the vegetable. If you add water, the stir fry will not remain crunchy. Give everything a quick toss, and when you want to finish, that's when you add in your salt and pepper. Give it a final toss and just serve it right in your plate. I'm just putting in the broccoli now because it steamed very well. I saved it for the last.
they are looking very beautiful. The colors of vegetables: green, red, and yellow, white.
Now I did say that as many colors as you have is as many nutrients as you gain out of the vegetables. Just make your plate very colorful, very playful. The cake is done. I'll show you how it looks like from inside. It's cool. Don't slice it till it's absolutely cold, like room temperature. You don't even feel it's warm. It should be cold. Then you slice it because it's a gluten-free cake, it will fall apart. If you slice it while it's still warm. So this is done.
The smell is so good. Even I can also, smell it.
Yeah, she's right here. So we're adding in our pink Himalayan salt now. You can add in whatever salt you have, whatever you use, and I'm adding in some pepper. That's it. So give it a toss. And we're done. So let's just plate this. So we've got some tofu here. That also you can use. I'll toss up the tofu separately and put it on top of this so it looks nice also. Here.
Like today we are cooking vegan, so we are using tofu, which is a very good source of protein. It has more protein than the normal protein. But if you have any if you have any digestion issues or if you have any thyroid issues, please don't tofu because it also alters your thyroid functions.
Makhani sauce with that. I'll just show you the stage for the makhani sauce. That's the stir fry. We're going to be serving it off with the sauce on the side, or you can pour the sauce here. Right? So it just tastes amazing. You can take a bite of the sauce in between the veggie and enjoy the meal. This can be one meal in itself. You don't really need to combine it with the quinoa pulao also. Like for Abhilasha, we've just skipped the stir fry because the pulao has all the vegetables in it already. The sauce, if you have ready, it's a multi-purpose sauce. You can use it for anything that you make at home. You can use it for your rice. You can use it for any pasta. You can, use that sauce for anything. You can use that sauce for your butter paneer, anything. That's a very versatile makhani sauce that we've made today. So let's just slice the cake up and let's then jump on to the kebabs. Tofu हम बाद में डाल रहे हैं. तो बस sauce आ जाए. Finally में डालेंगे, है ना? I'm just saving the tofu for the last. Now we're doing the kebab. For the kebabs, I'll bring a bowl out. And we'll just mix in everything. It's a very, very simple recipe. Instead of potato, it's a good idea to use boiled sweet potatoes.
Why we are using sweet potato? Actually, the potato and the sweet potato are, have the same starch and the carbs, but the sweet potato has a low GI, glycemic index. So it's good for the diabetic people also, and it regulates your blood sugar level. With that,
in a second, Swati will continue. That's the sauce, makhani sauce done. The tomato peels have separated from the tomatoes, and that's all you want. It's nice and mushy, and the peels are coming out. For a greater experience, remove the peels and grind it. But for quicker, just grind it and sieve it. So I'll just get it grinded and sieved by my team.
Okay.
Joys of being in India, right?
Sweet potato has more fibers and it is a very good source of vitamin A. So it's very, very good for your eyes and your blood sugar level. And if you're on a weight loss process, you can have sweet potatoes.
So this is the kebab, vegetables for the kebab. You cannot put in raw vegetables in the kebab because you want the kebab dry. And if you put in raw vegetables in your kebab, and then you try and, put your kebab on the seek or the skewer, it will fall apart because the vegetables will start to lose their water. One of the biggest content of vegetables is water. So here, for it to work in a kebab, you need these vegetables to lose all their water. So again, I'm cooking them for a second without the salt, for a minute without the salt, so that, they can caramelize, become more tasty. Then we'll add the salt, let the water come out and dry up all the water. So these vegetables need to be cooked thoroughly. They cannot be just half done, because once if they're half done and the water content is still there, when it goes here and salt and spices get into it, and when you rest it, it will keep losing water. And you wouldn't know why the kebab is not binding together. So that's, that's a quick saute. I'll just saute it one more time. And for the reasons of doing the session quicker, I'm just putting in the salt. Now you can cook it further and then add in the salt later. Another toss, just let it cook. Don't add water to cook these vegetables. You want the water to evaporate. There's no point adding more water and then evaporating the entire thing. I'll just let it cook on the side. Meanwhile, we'll add in all our spices here. So here we're adding in some that's some homemade chaat masala. That's dry mango powder, jeera powder, and cumin and coriander powder. So that's our in-house. We make our own chaat masala, and then we've got some pepper, black pepper, some red chili. This one doesn't remain Satvik now. Just adding red chili for color, natural color. You can add in some cumin powder, any herb powder that you like. I'll be adding some garam masala here because for us that is the masala that has got all the spices. Right, so we've added some garam masala. You can add in some chaat masala here. Tastes amazing. You can also add in some chaat masala in your vegetable stir fry. Chaat masala or chana masala. Chana masala is another versatile masala. You can find it in some Indian store. Put it on your stir fry. That just takes the taste to another level. Right, so this is done. We'll also, add in some lemon juice here. And now for binding, this is what we want to add here. So we've got two alternates here. Normally people will add corn flour. We give in corn flour as skip, and this is rice flake powder. So the poha that we eat for breakfast, we've just grinded it in a mixer, dry mixer. And this one is soya flour. Soya, so we've taken soya granules And we've picked up gluten-free soya granules and we've grinded it in the mixer. So that's soya, grind, so to say. So I'll be using, you can use both of these, either of these, whatever you like. Both of them absorb a lot of water, and that's the idea. For binding, we need very little water so that it can stay stable. And we need a neutral taste, and both of them are neutral in taste as well. Whatever you prefer, you can add. I'll add poha because for the one that I made last night, I added soya. You want to change in the nutrition, and that's also a tip wherein you should always keep changing your ingredients for a different nutrition benefit. So I added in some poha powder. I'm pushing in all the vegetables. For the jeera powder, pudina powder.
So if you are taking soy powder is a very good source of protein, and it's very good for expecting mothers. It's very good source for it's very good for old age people. It is very good for growing children's, or like if you are like having on any kind of diet like weight loss or any protein rich diet, you can have soy flour. But again, if you're like having thyroid issues, so it alters the function of thyroid. So if you have iodine deficiency, please don't take soya. You can have like rice flour powder or besan instead.
Roasted besan,
Roasted besan, right? So and it also has a low GI index. So if you are taking besan is also a very good source of protein, and it also has a very good source of dietary fiber.
Besan is basically chickpea flour,
the chana flour, which we call
the chickpea
flour. And if you are like it also has a low GI index, so it is good for diabetic people also. But in case if you have any kind of digestion issues, please don't take besan or have it in a moderate amount, because besan has a very good it is very rich in dietary fiber. So like having besan, it increase the dietary daily dietary intake, fiber intake. So it can cause gas or acidity in your body. So according to your body, please choose your flour.
So that's the beauty of making food. You shouldn't always be just picking up and following recipes. You must customize them as per your flavors and as per your preferences and as per your body. So you can, add in curry powder here, for example. If you like those South Indian flavors, you can add in some podi powder here and make the kebab, South Indian. You can add in some oregano, some chili flakes. You can add in some parsley, whatever herb or whatever flavor you people like, your family loves is what you must add. So now the idea is
add powder masala.
Yeah, any masala that you're fond of. Just pick up your flavor. Now we need to see it should be dry. Right? It should bind together and should be dry. What's the test for it? So we've got skewers here. If you want to grill this on an open fire grill, your skewers must be soaked in water, otherwise they'll catch fire. Or use iron skewer. But if you're using wooden skewers on an open grill, always soak them for 7 to 8 hours. I'll be grilling them directly on this griddle tawa. So I haven't soaked these sticks, but you must if you want to do it on a barbecue. So, this is how you put a kebab on a seek. You insert it. And then you spread it. And then you test it. Test it how? I'll tell you. Keep spreading it. It should be soft enough to spread, but stiff enough to stick on. Any questions, anyone?
This has been so amazing. Thank you so much for teaching us such great recipes, Reena.
Oh, thank you,
I have to
Reena.
leave now, but really appreciate your time and efforts.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Reena, for coming in. We'll also be sending you people the recording. So if you skip this section of the class, you can watch it later on. Now, once you've just spread it, as much as you wish to, just lock the sides. Very carefully, just lock the sides. Now, once you've locked the sides, put it on a hollow tray and let it sit like this at least for 2 minutes. So if it's done well, it will not fall off the stick. If it's not done well, it will fall off the stick. You take it back and add more binding agent. And our binding agent, what that? Rice flake powder or the soya powder or the roasted besan. Add more binding is, the action based on this falling apart. If it doesn't, you're good to grill it. I'll just do one more skewer today. Makhani is not okay.
Thank you.
Hey, Mani, sorry, one question. Did you put garlic? I'm sorry, ginger in this kebabs?
No, I haven't added ginger, but you can. Ginger gives a nice flavor. Nice deep flavor. You can also put in garlic, chopped green chili. I had chopped green chili, but I haven't added garlic or ginger. But you can, it just adds to the flavor. Most of the kebabs, the traditional kebabs have garlic in them. The street style kebabs, because we keeping it mostly Satvik, we are not adding in the garlic anywhere and the onions anywhere. Don't add onion in a kebab because onion loses a lot of water. So down the line, what will happen is the onion will eventually make your kebab fall apart. So that's it. So the two kebabs are ready. We'll be doing it on this tawa in a while. These kebabs freeze very well. You can put it in the freezer. You can put it in the fridge and do it after 2 days. If you want to keep it longer, put it in the freezer. Use it for a month. You can also coat some poha powder on top of it, the rice flake powder, for more crispiness. But these are good on their own. So that's the quinoa pulao done. Let me show that to you first. So that's the pulao completely done. Can we see your pulao as well, Abhilasha? If it's done, all the water is gone. That's how.
Yeah. Let me check.
And what's the other thing that tells you that the pulao, quinoa is cooked properly? This little sprout starts to come out of the quinoa. I'll show you. A little tail like a thing comes out of quinoa. If it's visible here, no, it will not be. Such a small grain. But a little tail comes out, looks like it has sprouted. And that's when you know it's done. The pulao is done, we'll plate it now. Because you've got a lot of veggies, your pulao may take more time.
Yeah, so it looks like this. I don't know if you can see this.
I can. Can you see that? I'm just bringing this also off, plating it. So that's our quinoa pulao. Can we see Abhilasha's quinoa pulao? Well, meanwhile, I'll start grilling this.
Okay.
The makhani sauce is also done. So we're done with the content of the session.
Abhilash.
Want to take more? Okay, Abhilasha, I can see you, not the pulao. You look pretty as ever. Can I see the pulao?
Okay. Just a second.
It does. It's looking good. It's got water, right?
Yeah, I think it has a little bit of water. Let me check. Yeah, not much. I mean, I can keep it for a few more minutes.
Keep it for a few more minutes, yeah. Just check your seasoning at this stage. If it's less seasoned, you can add in salt now. It will mix well.
Yeah.
Right. Right. So we've got this and we're now doing our kebabs. If you got any other question, we can also take that up. Just grilling it like that on a tawa. You can use a grill here, you can use a grill pan here, you can use an open grill here. And you have to do it on medium to a little high flame.
Nikki?
Mute for this. Cheer. Or so we take a lot of sessions around, healthy food and food that must be cooked at home. Our idea is for people to try and go Satvik, because going Satvik in a day is very difficult. So our idea is for people to start to pursue it. So we say go Satvik and we don't say be Satvik, because with the lifestyle that we have, with the kind of habits that we've cultured, with the surrounding that we have, it's difficult to just become Satvik in a day. But if the process begins, the body starts to go back to its basics, and all those diseases that have come out of nowhere start to go behind the curtain. So it's an important way of changing yourself. And if you don't want to compromise on the flavors of food, you still can eat good food while being on a healthy diet without, so that's the idea. We keep conducting classes around this. Several free sessions on our YouTube also are available. We also conduct workshops for corporates. We conduct paid sessions, and we try and do our best for people to start to eat home food that is not out of a packet, non-processed, good for the body, and live whatever amount of years you live with a healthier body.
Yeah, Ani, maybe one more question. Where did you use sweet potatoes?
Here, in the kebab.
Yeah, I forgot to put. It's okay, right?
What have you added? Potatoes.
No, I didn't add any potatoes. I just put vegetables and rice flour. Shall I put potatoes?
Yeah, put potatoes or sweet potatoes. Something has to go in, right? The vegetables wouldn't bind on themselves, right? This is the base. You can also add in some tofu if you don't want to put in potatoes, sweet potato, but I think you've got boiled sweet potatoes there.
No, I have it. Yeah, I can just put it here.
Just put in sweet potato. That's very important. That is the ultimate, binding. And that's the core of the kebab. You see, this is coming together. You can just increase the flame, do it quicker, add in tad bit more of oil and do it quicker. That's it. Kebabs will come together. I've got my platter ready here. I'll be plating them up here. And I'll be sending pictures to everyone. So you see what we made, and people who haven't made also get motivated and make them. Don't do it with a hand. Use a turner to do this. I'm just so used to doing it. I'll also, saute my tofu here. Just optimizing the use of the stove here. This is for the stir fry. The 2 big pieces of tofu to garnish on top.
This is great. Thank you so much for the wonderful session. I'm plating all dishes now. Minu Bhatia.
Oh wow! Yeah, Minu, that's so good to know. We didn't know you were cooking along. I want to see what you've made. That will be my kick for the day. That will be my motivation. I've already seen what Abhilasha has done. And she's right. We've been underestimating her. She's faster than I was. I'll just give it to all the talking that I was doing. Right. So this is almost there. Just cook them thoroughly.
So basically, your food is the fuel for your body. So always choose your food wisely, because whatever diseases or lifestyle disorders you are having, it's just because what you are eating. So it's not what you are eating. It's always about what eating you. So always choose your food wisely. Your ingredients, what is normal for your body, because your food can cure any disease.
That's the cake out. You can just, pour in some orange juice on top of it. You can place some candied oranges on top of it to garnish, some pistachios. Just make it fancy if you wish to.
Going to unmute Minu Bhatia.
Yeah, sure.
It's looking very yummy, and I just want to eat it.
Right. Yeah. So, hi, Minu. Such a pleasure to have you here today. So, Minu, we have unmuted you.
I'm here. Thank you so much for unmuting me. I'm busy running around in the kitchen, making sure my plate is completed well in time. But this is awesome.
So can we see what you've made? Are you still plating?
Yes, I'm still plating. I'll share the pictures. Is that okay on the WhatsApp group?
Amazing. That's amazing. You just create one group for people who want to join so that everyone can see and get motivated also.
Absolutely. I'll share. I took some while I was cooking.
Oh, wow.
So
I'll
share some. My cake did not come as good as I would have thought, because there is no sweetener there. But, again, ended up compromising with the sweetness versus the most flavorful cake I probably could have made with the sugar or something else.
Yes.
But other than that, everything else came out good.
This cake can be soaked up in some orange syrup. So you can maybe, just put in some orange juice to make it more flavorful. Just soak it up in some orange juice. And if you're using orange juice, that is going to, balance out the sweetness also.
Right. I use the fresh oranges. So probably that didn't do, again, justice.
Yeah, so you can soak them up in some canned orange juice, or maybe you can just syrup your orange juice with a little bit of sugar, brown sugar or any healthier sugar alternative, and then soak the cake up in that also. Because this cake is not very, very soft because of the because of the absence of gluten. This soaks up well. You can add in some syrup in there.
Yeah, and my kebabs are in the air fryer, so I'll just wait
Yes,
another
it's
5-7
in the air
minutes.
fryer oven, 200, 250 degrees. Kebab need high temperature for the char to come. And yeah, they'll come out amazing.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. I think this is a wonderful experience, doing things along while you are teaching. So this is awesome.
Thank you for joining in, Meenu. Thank you for sparing your time for us. Thank you. We've got the makhani sauce here, and I'll very quickly process it further. It is a quick tadka for enhancing the flavor and the color. So I'm just reusing my same pan for you all to know that we can do with less number of utensils also. And just because my team didn't get me enough pans, so a little bit of oil and some Kashmiri red chili powder. Do we have some Kashmiri red chili powder? It's not here. This one's not Kashmiri. We've got this, paste, the makhani sauce paste. We'll be adding it and giving it a second cook. That is when it really becomes saucy. That is when the cashews start to thicken the sauce. That is when most flavor seeps in. If you have any red chili powder that is more in color, less in spiciness, that's what you want to add here. Don't let it burn. You give it a mix. You give a very beautiful natural color. Put in your sauce as much as you want to use now. The remaining can be frozen and used later. Give it a mix and let it cook for good 3-4 minutes. This is also when you can add in some herbs here. I have this good old kasuri methi, which we use for all our makhani sauces, all our curries and gravies back in India. I'm adding that and a pinch of garam masala. That's it. So this is done. Done. So this makhani sauce is done. The color has just amplified, become very beautiful. You don't overcook it. People who eat butter, add in butter at this point in time. If you like, you can add in some nut butter here.
Thank you so much for the wonderful, healthy recipes, Mamta.
Thank you, Mamta.
Dr. V, really appreciate your wonderful effort in
Thank
loading
you.
and putting together such delicious looking food menu. We'll definitely try them out.
Lovely. So good to know. And sugar. So we're finishing it up with little sugar because it's very tangy, salty. A little bit of sugar goes a long way. So like in the cake, we added a little bit of salt. In the curry, we add a little bit of sweetener. So it just balances the flavor out. The sweetener wouldn't feel sweet. It will just balance everything out. Right? So that's where I pour in my hot sauce. All right. Any other questions or anything else that you need to read out, Sandy?
Great, sir. I'm definitely going to try these recipes. Really appreciate you taking time for this. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Thank you. I'll just get rid of this and show you everything we made so that there is a bit more of motivation for you all to try these. Abhilasha, how's the cake coming?
So cake I didn't touch, right? I think cake is a little bit, I think I should have put some sugar, I feel. It's yummy, but it needs sugar.
It needs sugar. You can also soak it up. That's how the cake is from inside for me. You can soak it in some sugar. Let me try mine.
Okay, I'll try. Because I didn't put any sugar at all, like just banana and orange juice.
But you're
It's yummy.
canned orange juice, right?
No, I actually squeezed the juice.
Oh wow. So therefore it's not sweet at all. You can add in some sweetener. You can just soak it in some canned orange juice or just, cook some orange juice with some sugar and soak it in that. So that will cover up for the lack of sweetener. Or you can also put some ice and sugar here.
I wanted to show you kebabs. So they're coming pretty good. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh yeah, I can. They look amazing. They don't look like, the veg kebabs would look like. They look amazing. Or you can also dust, everyone whose sugar content is less on the cake, you can dust some icing sugar. We've got mystery powder here, so we'll dust that. For you to know how easy it is, dust it and, the kids will still relish it. So, that's it. See? Some icing sugar or some powdered sugar. and dust it on your cake. Looks better, tastes better, sweeter. So this way you can balance the sweetness of the cake. You want to try some, Satvik? Right. So that's the sauce. That's this. This is it. All right.
This is amazing.
Very
And
healthy.
a very, very good, substitute of like having the cakes we buy from the market. The refined flour one.
Okay, so that's what we've got for our morning breakfast today here. But this could easily be a joyous dinner. This is what we have today. We've got this quinoa pulao. Looks beautiful. Let me show you in a close-up view. Very well cooked. Flavorful. We've got these kebabs here. We've got this stir fry here, and we've got this little cake here. You can also, pour in some sauce across the stir fry and serve it when you're ready to eat. Otherwise, the vegetables will become soggy. So just serve it later on. Serve it on the side. Thank you. That's it. So I can get on with the session. If there's anything anyone wants to talk about, I'm all in. If not, I'll let you all enjoy your weekend. And it's a great time. I think people have started eating and recognizing the value of eating good food. So let's keep doing that. And wherever you see, we fit in. We're always there to help in the way we can help.
Yeah, Ani, I really wanted to thank you on behalf of everyone. I know not everybody's here to unmute themselves and talk, but this is a big help. Their group is Satvik, basically vegan-free and gluten-free. So this is very helpful. So really appreciate, especially you waking up early in the morning. I think it's like 6 a.m. I know you woke up, I called you and you was like, yeah, no, even 5 a.m. I don't know what time you woke up, right? So doing all the preparation and helping us. Yeah, it's a big help.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. It was a great audience and I had a blast. Cooking is what I really love to do, and cooking healthy is my passion, right? So cooking unhealthy and making great dishes is easy. I do that, but it's actually fun for me when I put something like this up. So thank you for having me.